Update. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to have sex after my wife turned into a reward/punishment system? Original post. I think my wife is experiencing a phenomena called the 7 years itch right now. We are married to each other for 7 years now and did not have any serious problems before. Around the end of 2023, she started offering intimacy for small gestures, such as gifts and doing chores. For the last 7 years, and since I have been an independent adult, I make sure to handle my share of chores. She offered mind-blowing sex for me doing her part of chores, which I enjoyed first. Then it turned into gifts and gestures. Mind you, these had all been present in our relationship for the last 7 years. Nothing out of ordinary. That change happened literally overnight. Great sex life. Both take care of other parties' needs by communicating clearly and respecting their wishes. Even though it was good at first, it turned into a form of reward/punishment later on. You did not do X, no sex for you. Or, good, you did this and we can have sex. I asked her what is the deal with this. She did not do it before. She said she gets turned on and feels emotionally connected when I put extra effort in the relationship. I just rolled my eyes at that. What did even change overnight for it to happen? I should have asked it back then. It has been a few months since this started and I could not take it anymore. I started refusing her advances because it's such a turn-off for me. Yesterday, she came to me and said, "You did a chores. I think you deserve a reward." I told her, "I do not know where you have seen this, but it's getting out of hand. I'm not Pavlov's dog that you are giving treat or punishment to. Communicate with me if there is something wrong. But this change you had overnight is ridiculous. Do you expect me to beg for it and obey you in every case? You are making me feel like I have not contributed anything to chores or did not show you any gestures before that. Just tell me what is happening, because if we are going to change every good aspect of our relationship because you saw it somewhere else, this relationship will die out faster than a candlestick." She stormed out crying and slept on the couch, and I'm getting cold shoulder now. Did my wife turn into an 8-year-old child or what? What is this sudden change? And am I the a-hole for not wanting to have sex with her and calling out her behavior? I would appreciate advice, especially from women. Not the a-hole. That's some weird power trip crap. If sex is made into a transactional thing, it's pretty well destroyed. Maybe she thinks she's doing some empowerment thing, but it sounds like she's going for all the power instead of half. I can see she's frustrated herself for not having sex. Yesterday, I did not even do her part of the chores. She probably came to me with hopes of having sex. I cannot understand why she does that. Maybe she's getting crappy advice from somewhere. What about social media? There was/is a trend about people showing doing chores as foreplay, which I suppose is to be teamed with a talk about mental load. But as with all these trends, if someone watches an extended of it and gets sucked into it and thinks it's #goals, then the reality will hit at one point or another. I see two possibilities. 1, she decided she is into some kind of femdom kink. 2, she read an article about using positive reinforcement. Either way, she proceeded with it without having a conversation with you about it. Now she is emotionally manipulating you into groveling by giving you the cold shoulder. Just keep telling her that you were very happy with life until this new thing started, and it makes you very uncomfortable, that you two should be equals. I don't know what it was exactly, but something about this post makes me think it's exactly this. Which, if it's a kink, I feel like they can communicate more clearly about it and be able to integrate it and have it not feel totally transactional. I'm sure it would take time and experimenting, like maybe certain chores make him feel worse than others or whatever. But if it's a kink, I just think they can probably work around that. Otherwise, she went down the wrong rabbit hole online and needs to get off the damn internet. Now for the update. I was planning to talk to my wife today, but surprisingly she came to talk to me in the early morning during breakfast. She apologized and told me the things I said made her understand she hurt me and she felt terrible for that. She told me she took it too far without reading my reactions. I also apologized for telling her off like that and losing control of my emotions. We had a great discussion about what happened, why it happened, and our marriage in general. I asked her if she thought my gestures were not enough and she thought share of chores were unfair. She said it's not like that, and there's no problem with the share of chores nor my gestures. She has been feeling less confident, and adding a new dynamic to our relationship by making me try more made her feel better, just like before we were married. Also, she told me having less things to do allowed her to completely focus on me and turned her on more. She also stated she was feeling shy initiating due to her confidence, and this dynamic helped her to initiate. I asked if she was happy with our sex life with me. She said she is more than happy, and reward/punishment thing has nothing to do with it. My final question was if she had this kind of kink. She said maybe. She felt good playing like that, but accepted turning the whole sex life into this was terrible for her. I agreed while it was good in the beginning, turning the whole sex life into a reward/punishment system and doing it all the time became a problem. I told her I am okay with that kind of play or any kind of play as long as it's communicated. I am a freak, so no problem from my side. We had more talk about private things, but in the end, communicated our thoughts and feelings to each other clearly. In the end, she told me maybe I should reward her for being a good girl this time, and this awakened something sleeping in me. I do not know if I will be able to wait for the night. Finally, there were some people demonizing my wife and telling me to divorce her or find an affair right away. On the other hand, some declared me as a deadbeat husband abusing my wife by making her mommy me, even though I clearly stated it's not like that in the post. Why people love assuming things with zero information like that to make one party guilty? Chill. The problem is solved, and I would say with that challenge, our love and sex life will level up from the looks of it. Thank you for all the suggestions and help. Cheers! A happy update, but not the expected one for the sub. Where's the reveal that someone's an affair baby? Where's the family members blowing up your phone, followed by a break-in, followed by criminal legal proceedings that take 2 weeks start to finish? Haha, my life is quite boring and less action-packed compared to these ones. I'm so glad this worked out for you, really. Communication wins the day again. But I just can't scratch that itchy question. Where did she get this idea? An article, according to her. She also said she read it in a book. I saw the original post, but long after any reply I'd make would be seen, and I wanted to say, tell her to stop reading dumb stuffs online. So, LMAO. Always nice to see people actually being adults and communicating. Good for you and your wife. No a-holes here. Been married for longer than many Redditors have been alive. Communication is key to a good relationship. Don't feel bad if you get bogged down in life and communication gets lost. Even after 35 years together, my wife and I have to reset our communication expectations occasionally. I think a lot of people haven't had good role models in life and for relationships. I was lucky and saw my parents have a very mature relationship. This includes times when they had arguments/fights. I also saw relatives give excellent negative modeling. My wife grew up in a dysfunctional family, and watching how she and her siblings react to conflict is like seeing them play out portions of their childhood. Next story. Am I the a-hole for divorcing my cheating wife now that it's in my best interest to do so? I, 43 male, discovered my wife's 44 female infidelity 8 years ago. My 2 kids were in primary school at that time, so I gave her another chance. It was somewhat genuine as I was open to exploring if marriage can be saved. And if it can't be, my kids would be older and can take the brunt of divorce better. I also refused to budge on the 3rd kid that she wanted. I was not gonna bring another kid in this marriage. To her credit, she has been an ideal wife since then, worked on herself, but I never really forgave her. I just learned to be okay with status quo until now. I had an NSTEMI about a year ago. That changed my perspective. I got my cholesterol and blood pressure level down. Start taking my fitness seriously, and I'm now in best shape of my life. That triggered self-improvement in other areas of my life. My style, my profession, etc. With that came a nagging feeling. I can get a better partner than my wife. I want to go into retirement with a woman who never betrayed me. So I am leaving my wife. I was honest with her about the reason. I think I could do better than her, that's why I'm leaving her. I told her she's still pretty, which is somewhat true, but what I need is a person who never cheated on me, and she can't be that person. Since our kids are older now, her utility for me is decreasing with every passing day. There was no point delaying the inevitable. She is not happy is an understatement. She is accusing me of using her. She is also distressed about not having a 3rd kid. Thinks that I robbed her of a 3rd kid, which I find most outrageous. She was willing to bring another kid in a broken marriage that she broke. And even if I left her 8 years ago, was she going to jump on any lap to get a baby? Has she no consideration of other 2 kids? I am basically ignoring her attempts to goad me into arguments and marching forwards with a divorce. I am in best position to divorce now. Kids are older. I can date easily. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Everyone sucks here. Your wife is obviously an a-hole for cheating, but you sound like a robot man. Who uses the word utility to describe their partner? Imagine giving your partner your all, and then you break your leg and your partner dumps you because you have less utility than before. Who uses the word utility to describe their partner? Probably someone who has stayed with a cheater for 8 years to avoid court-mandated financially taking care of his cheating ex. We live in the only time in human history where adultery wasn't viewed as a very serious crime by the law. There is no other legal contract in our society that one party can violate, where the outcome of that violation is negotiated between the two parties rather than prescribed by the contract breach itself. The idea that you can have a no-fault divorce after cheating is insane. The idea that in many states, adultery has no impact on whether or not you owe your partner alimony is absolutely demonic. You are kinda the a-hole for how you talk about your wife. Her utility decreased? Dude, she's a person, not a KitchenAid appliance. You stayed with her for 8 years because you didn't think you could get any better. You have a weird outlook on marriage. His outlook on marriage makes a lot more sense once you realize he never forgave her at all. That's exactly the outlook a cheated on and scorned spouse has, who has not forgiven them. Is it healthy? No. But it's a pretty normal view of your partner after being cheated on. Dude playing the long game here. Brutal. If I were in the dating scene and a man told me he left his wife because she cheated, I would feel sad for him. If he told me he left his wife because she no longer has any utility to him, I would run for the hills. Dude thinks he is a gem now, but I think he might have more work to do and doesn't realize it. If he goes into another marriage with this attitude, he is destined for a second divorce. I'm going with everyone sucks here. Both of you are a-holes. First the cheating by her, then you decided to keep a broken household, then used her until you were done with her. Should have divorced years ago and provided a happier house for the kids. I come from a dysfunctional household and kids see that dynamic. Yep, my dad cheated on my mom when I was 2. My mother is Catholic and doesn't believe in divorce. And she spent the next 16 years treating my dad like crap because she never forgave him. My dad was a stay-at-home dad, so because of that, I was much closer to him. I hated my mom once I hit puberty because of the way she treated my dad. I genuinely had a good, happy childhood, but their toxic marriage left quite an impact on me. I'm 37 and have much commitment issues in relationships. I don't ever want to get married. I don't even want to live with a partner. Last story. Am I the a-hole for being truthful and admitting that I find my wife unattractive after her surgery? My wife had plastic surgery recently. We had discussed it and I was against it. It was not my decision and ultimately I had no say. She looks weird now. She had a fat sucked out of her face. Lip fillers, a neck lift, other stuff I don't really get. It gives me Uncanny Valley vibes now. It freaks me out. She's fully healed now and she wants us to go back to normal, like me initiating intimacy. I have done so, but not as much as I used to. And when I do, I try and make sure there is very little light. It's been a few months and I kind of dread having to look at her. Obviously, she has noticed. She has been bugging me to tell her what's up. I've tried telling her I'm just tired from work, or that I'm run down. Really anything except for the truth. She broke down and asked me if I was having an affair. I said that I wasn't. She asked to look at my phone. I unlocked it for her and handed it over. I wasn't worried about her finding anything because there is nothing to find. She spent an hour looking through it and found nothing. She asked me to explain why it changed. I tried explaining that I just wasn't that interested right now. Nothing I said was good enough for her. She kept digging, so I finally told her the truth. I wasn't harsh or brutally honest. I just told her that her new face wasn't something I found attractive and that I was turned off. She asked if that's why I turned off all the lights now, and I said yes. She started crying and said that she needed time alone. She went to stay with her sister. I have been called every name in the book since this happened. Her sister said I'm a piece of turd for insulting my wife's looks. Her friends all think I'm an a-hole. I tried not to say anything. I can't force myself to find her attractive. I still love her, but her face is just weird now. She looks like the blue alien from The Fifth Element. Not the a-hole. Freedom of choice is never freedom from consequence. This is the obvious outcome when not considering your partner when making aesthetic changes, especially ones as dramatic as those described. Hopefully she finds another Mondo shaman to love. I completely agree. I'm a nurse and work in plastics. What many people seem to fail to comprehend is that these procedures are major body modifications. It's not uncommon for these patients to have body dysmorphia. I work on the reconstructive side, but I personally believe that there are many surgeons in the private/elective plastics arena that are straight-up criminals. Elective plastics needs a lot more regulation. I just lost my aunt to a massive stroke she suffered hours after her 6th facelift. Not a-hole. Watching Botched cured me of ever wanting plastic surgery for mere physical appearance. Oh god, if she did a buccal fat remover, I totally feel you. It makes people look so freaky. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, I couldn't remember. Oh man, there are plastic surgeons out there that refuse to do this. 1, because of the damage it can cause. And 2, because there isn't enough data to show exactly what it'll do over time. But they suspect it'll cause some worse problems down the road as people age. Even worse for people under 40 to 50. According to the rabbit hole I went down recently, buccal fat is good to have because it can help reduce jowl sagging later on. Anyway, while it's totally in her right to make the choice to get that surgery, you're not the a-hole OP. No one's an a-hole for what they do/don't find attractive. And I said this in another comment, but you tried to compromise internally and tried to protect her feelings. But she flung around accusations of cheating, wouldn't let it go, kept pushing. And when you're honest with her, she flipped her lid, left, and pulled other people into your marriage who were now on a slam campaign against you. She did all of this and still can't manage to take any personal responsibility or act like an adult about it. To be honest, this post would be fit for r/oh no consequences, but not because of you. Not the a-hole. I love my partner's face. I love the lines I've seen developed over the years. I love the way his eyes crinkle when he laughs. My favorite place in the world is to have my face buried in the crook of his neck, cheek to cheek. When we make love, his face fills my vision and becomes my whole world. I would miss that face so much if it changed it with plastic surgery. I would still love him, but I would feel like I lost something dear to me. It's her face, and she can do what she wants with it. But she underestimated how much you loved her the way she was. I understand. Same. I love looking at my husband even though he's aged quite a bit in almost 20 years. He says he still loves looking at me, but I also look the same. Good genes. However, if my family is any indication, he will have to look at a crypt keeper once I hit 60. Not the a-hole.